Do you like rock music but you don't instinctively hate other genres because you're not an elitist? Are you looking for music that isn't from an English-speaking country? But are you not sure where to start because you've gotten a little too comfortable with rock music? Do you want a list for where to start? Okay, advertisement voice aside, I've had this issue before. In 2023, I started getting into other genres besides rock, R&B, electronic, and hip-hop for example. But as someone who's been a fan of anime for as long as I can remember and was exposed to Japanese music since I was at least 11, K-pop is something I should have gotten into a long time ago, but didn't until 2023. I flirted with it before, but never committed. I took the deep dive because of a rock group, but we'll get to them in due time. So while I would recommend J-rock as the next step, I just found rock and K-pop more interesting to talk about instead. While rock music does have its place in the grand scheme of things for the stylistic origins of K-pop, in contemporary idol music, which is what most people are talking about when they mention K-pop, it's not that common. It's been something that groups will do as a one-off for an era, but never long term. As far as rock music and Korean popular music, it's been around since the 1950s when Americans came to fight in Korea and they brought their music with them and introduced it to the Korean population. It had an effect for sure. Even the godfather of K-pop, ATEEZ, had his roots in rock music, and the group that set the foundation for idol groups, ATEEZ and the Boys, even dabbled in rock. I won't go into the history of Korean music, I recommend this video here, but what I should note is that Korean popular music has an emphasis in taking influence from R&B, dance, and hip-hop to differentiate themselves from Japan. And beginning with the second gen, there's been a heavy use of electronic genres too. So yeah, not a lot of rock, but that's not to say it isn't there. For example, idol bands typically play pop rock. I mean, it makes sense. So we're beginning to get into the list, so I should establish the rules for the list. No K-rock proper artists like The Rose or other bands like them. These feel too obvious, and I'm also going to eliminate idol bands like Day 6. I know I just committed heresy, but again, it feels too obvious. This list is to focus on idol groups. Yes, certain groups are more obvious when it comes to rock, but they'll be saved for near the end of the list. One last note, K-pop groups have at least one rapper. So if you have an aversion to rapping, this might not be the genre for you. If you're willing to give it a chance, it will take some time to get used to, especially the higher pitched ones. And the songs are picked because they're groups I'm more familiar with, so if you see a group or song that should be here, that's why. And let me know what groups you would have picked. I'm always looking for new artists to get into. So now at long last, let's get to the list. I got it back. I never quite said remixes were off the table. A song that's normally on the EDM side, flirting with rock on the original version, deciding to double down with the sound that's more metallic while still keeping the EDM structure that they're well known for, and you hear it with the opening instrumental. The guitars are clean and not affected by the electronic effects that much. If you decide to listen to the original song in its place, you'll still do fine there. As for the song itself, man, it kicks you in the face right at the beginning once the group's captain. Don't ask. Hongjoong starts with the rap at the beginning, it pulls you in, and then he ends it with a scream. Hell yeah. The chant chorus going back and forth between the tenor and the baritone vocalist. Hell, two of the baritones, Sungwon and Yuno, are using their falsettos fantastically in the pre-chorus. This is a vocally intensive song, and even then the raps are so good. I mentioned the first one, so I have to bring up the other one, Mingi. He's very different from Hongjoong, who's nasally as opposed to Mingi's deep raspy voice, and he still sounds great, and he has a scream integrated into his rap. Other than the two rappers, the other voice that'll immediately catch your ears is Jungkook, the main vocalist. He's the one doing all the intense high notes. You'll catch him. He's very good at what he does, and what he does is very nice. Hell, I haven't even mentioned Son, the lead vocalist, who uses his falsetto and his raspy lower range too, but you might not catch him on first listen, but I still want to shout him out, of course. The last two members, Yeosang and Wooyoung, don't have a lot in this song, but they're great with what they're given, so they shouldn't be overlooked. One last aspect of the song that I want to point out is the ending. I re-listened to the original to compare. I forgot how different the instrumentation feels. The original feels more like an EDM drop, while the flag version here feels like a guitar solo, and it's so cool. If you want to continue ATEEZ further, I highly recommend it. They're my old boy group and my second favorite overall, so I recommend recommendations will come flooding in. As far as their other rock songs, there's Rocky Boxer's version, the Black Cat Nero, Pirate King Overload Remix, Answer Ode to Joy. Win. Dancing Like Butterfly Wings. Some of their intense EDM songs that may fit the vibe that I would choose from are Holla Holla, Wonderland, Crazy Form, Dune, Halazia, and Say My Name to Start. And other personal faves are Fireworks on the One, Bouncy,
slow it down, make it bounce. 지금부터 fly. 좀 더 spicy. 청양고추 fry.
The Real, Treasure, Utopia, of Deja Vu, Wave. But you know, this is K-pop we're talking about, where dancing is very important, and yeah, these guys are dance machines. 6 out of the 8 members have some form of dance or performance position. And rap is important in K-pop too. What if I mentioned a group that had 6 out of the 8 members with some kind of rap position instead of 4? Yeah, Stray Kids were an inevitability for this list, and with the overlap in their fanbase and ATEEZ's fanbases, it made sense to go from one to the other. And despite a lot of their stylistic similarities, they're contrasting in interesting ways. ATEEZ has a stacked dance line, while Stray Kids has a stacked rap line. Aside from the main rappers in each group, ATEEZ's obvious standout voice is the vocalist with the insane high notes, while Stray Kids, it's a deep voice that sucks you in. And don't worry, Stays, I'm absolutely gonna highlight him. As far as Stray Kids themselves, they do rock often enough in their B-sides, which I'll highlight in the recommendation section. And they have an energetic, chaotic sound, so they have an appeal for rock fans. As for this song, man, it's good. Let's just compare the opening instrumentals between the two versions. Yep, this one is on the heavier side, and it has a bit of that crunch that a heavy song should have. All of the members' voices work so well for this version of the song, and after everyone finishes a line, the music cuts out for a nanosecond, and then it comes back to give the music an extra layer of effectiveness. The pre-chorus is so good. It highlights how good the vocalists are. This is probably my favorite Seungmin song. He's kind of the main vocalist of this group, and he's great in this song, and he's played to break up some of the raps and to pair off well with the other vocalists. You know, IN, Lino, and Bangshan. As far as the rappers, Changbin punches you in the face right at the beginning, but that's just what I expect from a Stray Kids song at this point. But the rappers transition well with each other. Changbin and Han, Felix and Hyunjin, and then very briefly Bangshan and Lino. When I listen to the song, I swoon for the guitar so hard, and I'm glad it doesn't force the signature rhythm of the song to go away, but instead keeps it. Okay, this is the part where I talk about Felix. He's that deep voice you hear in the song. My favorite part of his is the fake out after the second pre-chorus. You hear his voice and you understand why me and other fans can't get enough of his voice. It's what helps make Stray Kids, and the rock instrumentation really sells it. I'm not gonna play it because I want you to experience it for yourself. And Felix gives the group musical dynamic that prevent the group from being an overwhelming wall of EDM. He's the break that makes the impact so much more impactful. So other recommendations, there's Ya Ya Ya. I watched the busking performance from the reality show, and this performance was the genesis of this video. Other rock songs are Awaken, Superboard, The Sound, District 9, Lonely Street, Hello Stranger, Top, Slump, Time Out, Easy, Chronosaurus, and Rock. Those are good songs to start with. Some EDM songs that fit that energy. God's Menu. This might be my favorite song by this group. It's so good, greatly crafted on all levels. And I'm not gonna not highlight Felix's.
Looking like a chef, I'm a 5-star Michelin.
Now Will I? Thunderous. Domino. Maniac is good fun. Mountains. Other tracks I recommend are Elevator, Backdoor, Chick Chick Boom, and S-Class. Holy crap, how did I forget that they collabed with Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine?
Look at my shadow right behind you like a ghost. Vision die a legend isn't gold the way I flow.
So Carrots, forgive me that I'm not that familiar with 17. I flirted with their music since Maestro came out, and I'm still a relatively new K-pop fan. I intended to check out this group when I did hear that they do rock from time to time, and then my favorite group covered this song recently, then I heard the original, so that deep dive is coming soon, I promise. But yeah, after hearing the songs that are more on the traditional side of rock, it made sense to have some that are on the more poppier side of rock, and this is a stellar example of that. It's fun, and it puts a smile on my face. I'm sure you already noticed a different vibe going on here. I think a lot of rock fans overlook or discredit the poppier sides of rock music unless it's nostalgic, but I think the poppier stuff is still valid, and this song is just a great example of it. The guitars in this song are more scaled back in comparison to the previous two, and they really get to shine in the chorus. And let me tell you, the chorus is catchy. But it's a pop song, so what else would you expect? And that pop sound is really sold with the synthesizer. It's all over the song. It plays second fiddle to the guitar, but it shouldn't be overlooked. Another thing that I'm sure people who watch the music video might have noticed is that there are a lot of members, 13 to be exact. No, I'm not going to go into the name. You'll probably notice all the different voice types, but you may not differentiate all 13. But you'll notice that they're there. There's the deeper voices. There's falsettos throughout. And the chorus has some great use of high notes. without necessarily belting, and it's not even showing off either. They're playing to the song, and I think it's great. Another thing to note, there's no rapping. There's a hip-hop unit in this group, make no mistake, but they're singing here, and they're doing great. I think it shows off how talented these guys are. So while this song doesn't show off every member's specialized skill set, it does show off that they're multi-talented. Recommendations. Yeah, if carrots find this video, help me out here. The first song I've heard is Maestro, and I really like it. Clap is a rock song, and it fits a little with the traditional sense of rock.
17 right here.
And it does it well, and it shows off the rapping this group provides. But I wanted to show off some different styles of rock in this list where I could. Other rock songs would include Together, Kidult, Run to You, March, Fear, Getting Closer, Good to Me, Don't Wanna Cry, Anyone, SOS, Ready to Love, Adore You. A lot of their other rock adjacent songs are in their B-sides or unit songs like 2-1, which only has 2 members. It's great, but it doesn't really show off the group as a whole, but it's great. Let's not get that twisted. And then other subunit songs would be Trauma from the hip hop team, and BSS Fighting. And then we also have some solo rock songs. Black Eye from Vernon, and Ruby by Woozy. You know, I just talked about 3 boy groups. Let's see what the girls are up to.
Yeah, I'm fucking tomboy.
These girls do not give a fuck, and that's what I like about them. I'm still relatively new to these girls. I've heard all their songs, but I haven't spun their music as much as I have some of the others on this list, but that'll happen in due time. So Neverland, I'll need your help with the recommendations here too. I like to emphasize the beginnings of songs because they set the expectation for the rest of the song. With Minnie singing in the beginning,
Look at you.
it starts like a standard pop song, with some strums of the guitar creeping in gradually into the chorus. The 30-second mark is when it fully becomes a rock song.
I got to drink up now. 네가 싫다 해도 좋아.
It still feels pop rock, but that chorus you'll hear,
Yeah, I'll be the tomboy.
I'll take no arguments. The chorus is easily my favorite part, and I love how the vocalists just trade off within the chorus and pre-chorus, with Miyeon starting this run to really show off how well this group works together. And yeah, I need to bring her up. Soyeon, the leader and main rapper. She's a bad bitch and we love her for it. And she just embodies the mentality of I don't give a fuck. Her rapper and her vocals are great in the song.
That's why I don't wanna play this ping pong. I would rather film a TikTok.
Though her voice might be an acquired taste for some.
This is my attitude.
And she's all over the song.
You get the song right, you get what I mean, tomboy.
So if her voice doesn't click with you, I understand. I would still recommend giving it a few tries before you write her off. And the other 4 members are still singing incredibly well and really do work off well with each other too. The song is great and it gets a recommendation out of me. I mean, obviously I wouldn't have put it on this list otherwise. As far as other rock songs by them, there's not a lot. Liar is the one that comes to the top of my head.
You keep calling me
and Never Stop Me, and Allergy because it has this little guitar moment at the beginning. But as far as songs I can definitely recommend that won't be too much to rock fans, or these are some of my faves, are Revenge, Nude, I Do, I Want That, and Super Lady. Especially Revenge. I can see some rock fans having some enjoyment with that one. For those of y'all asking, where's Queen card? It's awesome and it's got some rock moments. Well, you're right, but you have to remember who this video is for. Yeah, I don't think a lot of rock fans are gonna vibe with this song right away. Maybe 20 songs in once they're well acquainted with I-dle. I still love this song though. I'm a newer fan of this group, so those songs will come to me first. I just love their sonic aesthetic. But some of the OT6 songs I do like are La Ta Ta, Lion, and Oh My God. However, if you still want some rock songs from these girls, then I do recommend some of their solo stuff. Bonnie and Clyde by Yuki, Beam Beam by Soyeon, and even though it's not rock, it can maybe fit the vibe, Blind Eyes Red by Minnie, I'm sure many K-pop fans are surprised to see Mamamoo, the vocal queens, on this list, but no, this song counts. And we're leaning a tad more into the heavier side here compared to the last two. I see rock or pop punk and K-pop videos, but I never see this song, and that's unfortunate. This remix is easily the best on the remix album that it's on. It doesn't change the structure of the song. And after hearing the original multiple times, I wouldn't have expected a rock version of it to work at all, but lo and behold, here we are. This group is definitely a group that has a strong affinity for vocals, and you'll certainly hear it in this song. Their voices are best complemented with jazzy and R&B styles that they're best known for, but again, they work shockingly well for the song. Solar pulls you right in at the beginning, and you just accept the trance that you'll be taken through. Although in one sense, the girls are meant to serve this new remix. The instrumentation on Solar is stellar, but it still feels like a Mamamoo song. It has those R&B feeling moments. The old song is fun, but this is also a fun song that you want to bang your head at the beginning when you listen. The chorus really does exemplify this. It's really hard to describe, you just have to listen to the song to understand. Solar, Wheein, and Wasa are stellar with their vocals, and Moonbill's rap is great. And that I think about it, her rap style will definitely be a better fit to rock fans as she's on the lower side, and she fits all the vibes this group's songs go for. If there's one word I can use to describe Mamamoo's music, it's addicting. Most of my K-pop taste is energetic, but a lot of Mamamoo's music, while upbeat, has a different vibe. But once I start listening, I can't stop. Part of what this group's music focuses on is on the jazz and R&B side, with some Latin flair thrown in from time to time. It scratches that itch of variety I sometimes need, and they were the second group I really gave a lot of attention to. So while I don't have a lot to say about this song as a whole, I have plenty of recommendations, even if none of them are rock at all. Hip. Egotist. Komi. Mr. Ambiguous. Oh, yeah. You're the best.
Come on, hey mommy. Come on, hey daddy. 이리 와서 얘들 좀 봐.
Yeah.
눈물이 뚝 떨어진 날.
Starry Night.
Starry night. 별이 빛나는 밤. 네가 왜?
They're not headbangers, but they are certainly a vibe and fun if you take them in as they are. If you want more rock songs from them, their solo stuff might help with that craving. Leader Solars by I.
Damn. I really hate you. 착한 척은 집어쳐.
And rapper Moonbeal's Cheese in a Trap.
운명 같은 건 없어. 사랑을 빼.
And her collaborations with their label mates One Week for the song Memories. Those are good for that.
Ring my bell. 필요할 때 불러 ring ring.
This one is fun, and unlike some of the others on this list, there's no arguing. This one's rock. The guitars are lingering in the background.
Ring.
It's very noticeable. It's almost like we're waiting to address the elephant in audible form.
Ring ring 다시 울려. Ring ring 울려.
And then when the girls sing Ring My Bell, its presence is stronger.
Ring my bell. 필요할 때 불러 ring ring.
And then it's stronger in the chorus.
울린 소리에 번쩍 눈 뜰 때 두 번째 기회.
And then after the second chorus, it starts going off. I like how after the music video, they play the guitar solo without the vocals so you can hear it better. They're like, damn, we really popped off with the guitar here. They definitely had to hear this. And damn, they were right. You'll probably catch yourself headbanging in the end. And as great as that solo is, let's not forget why we're here. We're here for Billlie. Her voices are great. You've got different voice types going on. They're not as noticeable here compared to some of the others on first listen, but you can definitely hear them. I like how in the chorus, instead of how a lot of groups just have every single member do the chant, or maybe just one in some cases, they do a few, and then they trade it off to the other members.
필요할 때 불러 ring ring. Ring my bell. My bell.
I find it really cool, and it's a very missable thing on first listen. Also, Haram and Suyeon
너무 기다렸어.
in the last chorus with the high note belts, lovely. And if you're not that crazy about the rapping, Siyun and Moonsu's rapping is great. It feels more subdued here in comparison to most of the songs on this list.
이럴 때 힘껏 늘어진 보너스 stage.
It fits so well, and it's not that bombastic, so I didn't recognize it as rapping at first.
머리부터 발끝까지 나다운 게 맘에 들지.
Okay, time for the recommendations. Well, Billie's genre is primarily R&B, with some touches of synth pop and even lighter touches of jazz. So if you're a rock fan who also likes those genres, you'll definitely like Billlie, and I do recommend them. The amount I recommend might feel comparatively smaller because I haven't spun their music as much. I certainly have some favorites and we'll get to them, but they're one of the relatively newer groups on this list as they debuted in 2021. So the pool of music is comparatively smaller. And this past year there was a drought as some members definitely needed some time away. But I won't go into that. I'm just glad that they're doing better. Not many songs are rock. Hi, so a lovely comment brought to my attention that Billlie has in fact released another song.
I will never run away. 내 민도 손을 잡아 it's your time.
A few can maybe fit the vibe, but that's a hard maybe. So for straight recommendations, Ring Ring,
맘고기 그대로 기다려. 내가 걸어나가겠어.
Ginga Mingayo,
Complain 다 그런 거라 해. 이상해 왜 긴가민가요.
Yunya,
Fall fall up, fall fall up, fall fall up. 이랬다가 또 저랬다가.
Sting,
Focus again. 대체 who I am.
Remembrance Candy,
다리를 가득해 우리 비다시 신기루 달콤한 표정이 번져.
BYOB, and no, it's not a System of a Down cover.
괜찮고 SNS에 라이크를 눌러 설마.
They're just good vibes. You want some sugary sweetness after straight 8 hours of getting the rage out listening to some metal? This is certainly a palate cleanser, and Billlie is not a bad choice for that. They might not currently be in my top 5 girl groups. They can certainly change that in the future though. Oh yeah, here we go. These guys are fairly brand new too, but I have high hopes for their future. They're of the electronic variety too, especially the dance variety. A lot of their producers are known for producing two groups in particular. Both are in this video, but I won't name them right now. I bring this up because in their first year, they were certainly playing with what they know and trying to put new spins on those sounds to create something new with Xikers, and it certainly worked here. The previous title track, Rockstar, sounds like a fusion of those two groups. This one feels more their own. Okay, as far as their music, Yeonwoo and Jinsik sure are belting those notes. Seyun and Yujin really work off well with each other. Junmin is doing the vocal breaks very well. They took some time getting used to, but now I can't imagine the song without them. Hunter creates great contrast with the other members. Sumin, Yechen, and Minjae are rapping fast. And I just realized, Minjae and Yechen's verses are right next to each other, which they normally don't do. It's usually Minjae and Sumin. Anyways, and the unsung hero is the guitar, of course. Would you have expected anything different here? But that bass is also great here. And I can hear it in the chorus too, not as much as the guitar. But it's certainly there. And I like how the chorus is mostly vocals. There's some chanting, but not as much compared to some of the others. I also love how after each chorus there's a different vibe too. For recommendations, obviously Rockstar. This one has straight anime opening vibes. And a lot of those are J-Rocks, what makes sense. One of the hardest choices for me to make with this list was picking between these two songs. I think I like Rockstar more because I'm a freaking weeb, and it has all 10 members on it. And it's also the love child of my two favorite groups. Not literally for you Delulu fans who found this video. And the members are all wearing Chuck 70s, the superior Converse. But I ultimately picked this song because it's more unique to Xikers' sound here. And while they don't have any more rock songs, their first EP without a rock title track had this guitar moment in the beginning. This song is called We Don't Stop, by the way. And if you like old school 90s hip hop, I highly recommend it. You know, now that I think about it, Apple Music describes their sound as a fusion of dance, hip hop, and reggaeton. But I could see rock being a pillar and being something they return to from time to time. They're still near the end of their second full year as of me posting this video. Hold on, as I was writing this, I just remembered that Witch Fury version was a thing, and I listened to it and... Yep, definitely a must hear. For rock vibes, Witch. Bittersweet. And especially Red Sun. Those beats go so hard, and that chorus too. Other songs I enjoy are Tricky House, Xike, Kung, and Supercalifragilistic. But not Expialidocious.
My heart skip a
Okay, now we're getting into the groups more known for rock sounds. Now Purple Kiss has strayed a little bit, but with vocalists as good as theirs, I can forgive them going into more R&B or just straight pop soundscapes. Their diehards, maybe not as much, and yeah, this song rocks. And since I mentioned the vocals, this group has 3 main vocalists. While Swan isn't on the version shown here in the music video, she is there and glorious in the OT7 version. But Goun and Chaein are holding down the fort here. And their voices are very strong.
가십을 타오를 거야
And Dozy, I-dle, and Ji-yoon do great here too.
고민 같은 건 가라 모두 하얗게 불태워
They work off the other two effectively.
말을 하니까 My heart get back 내 눈에 맺힌 너를 본 그 순간
And while she doesn't really sing here, main rapper Yuki's rap is on point.
Ding dong 내가 와서 hello baby 미친 듯이 나를 원해 I'm a desert lady
And again, her rap doesn't stick out too much as you would think. She's on the higher side, but her rapping fits the vibe of the song really well. Also, let's just note the fact that she's Japanese and she's rapping in Korean effectively. I shouldn't have to explain myself any further now, do I? And as far as the instrumentation is concerned, besides the fantastic guitar on the chorus, the bass at the beginning contrasting the guitar is great. And the drums are great.
그런 거 한두 대째
Some of the beats are processed through a filter, though that's fine. And the synth work is great too, especially when the dance drop happens. It's out of left field, but it's welcome. It makes it so when the guitar comes back, it's more effective. Also, the heartbeat at the end is a very nice cherry on top. For other rock songs, they're mostly in the vibe department. They're more known for rock, but the rock is a little rock adjacent, I'll say. The songs I recommend for the rock vibe are Zombie, Sweet Juice,
You want some sweet juice You wanna pop it
Sweet Nightmare,
I can't deny 난 지금은 쾌활해 다 whisper 다 대본
Pretty Psycho,
삐죽삐죽해 What's in my head 매일매일 답은
Ponzona,
Baby pop kiss somebody top
and On My Bike.
On my bike jumping up 짜릿해질 highway
A lot of them are on the more popular side. For some of my other favorites, Nerdy,
Get ready but I'm not stupid I want your na.
hey, it's fun, and it's the last OT7 release we have.
Here's what you think
And Can We Talk?
Can we talk again? Can we try again?
Those are good starting points. They're also another group formed in the 2020s, so not as much music here, and I haven't spun their music as much as some of the others on this list. But I hope I sold you on these girls, because their company sure as hell can't. Hi, so in the long time it took to make this darn series, a lot of time has passed, and well, I have now seen Purple Kiss live, and all I can say is, it was fun. These girls put on a good show, their live vocals and rapping were great, and honestly, while I was making this video, or actually before I was making this video, the only members who I really memorized their faces and names were Yuki and Swan, and part of that's because they have really distinct looks. You know, while I was making the video, Chaeyeon and Goon really started to stick out to me now, though I was learning I-dle and Dozy, and when I got to the show, yeah, I can now remember I-dle and Dozy now, that's for sure. It was a fun show. These girls are hella good at performing, so if you do get a chance to see them, I do recommend it. You know, this was my first K-pop concert, so no matter what happens in the future with these girls, they will always have a special place in my heart. I just want to leave it at that. But RBW, I did spend a lot of money. Use that money. Put that money to good use. Yeah, I'm sure the regular K-pop listeners were wondering when this group would show up, and yep, TXT has made their appearance. And I know officially they're Tomorrow by Together, and I think the localizers at Big Hit made a mistake here. And everyone only calls them TXT, and no one refers to their predecessors by their full name, so TXT is what I'll call them here. And no, I'm not gonna mention that group's name because I want to discuss TXT as TXT, and not the younger brothers of the K-pop group. But as far as the music's concerned, this is more on the indie rock or pop rock side of things, but that's still valid here. They have some songs on the popular sides of pop punk too, not Green Day or even Blink-182, but this is TXT. They are not those bands, and again, that is more than okay. You can hear the drums, and the bass is more the focus as opposed to the guitar, which is still there, but it takes more of a backseat here. I mean, this band also does stuff in the R&B side too. I mean, their leader is referred to as the falsetto king of this generation. So I understand dipping your feet into R&B, so those elements are here too to a degree. The more I think about it, TXT might fall more into those, I guess it counts as rock category, like Japanese Breakfast, Neon Trees, or Churches. as they're a subgenre of a subgenre of rock, where the rockier elements are there, so it takes some listens to really see them as rock. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense here. TXT, to a degree, also has a lot of disco influences, and I think that's the part that makes it not feel as rock as it otherwise should feel. Okay, so what do I like about this song? That chorus. I don't know, man. I like a good angsty pop punk song. It brings me back to my teenage years, which was not a fun time for me, but I really got into music at that time, so it was one of those few things from that time of my life that has stuck with me. My taste has wildly expanded from that time, and I think a lot of people have overlooked that K-pop has, to a degree, has been meant for a younger audience. Maybe the message of the song won't resonate that much to many rock fans, but maybe to the audience that it was meant for. So when you hear the angsty belting of the chorus, in that almost emo vein, you can understand what they're going for, and it feels leagues more authentic than what Machine Gun Kelly was trying to do. Also, these guys are in their 20s, so it makes more sense for them to do this sound. That and there's a whole storyline between the music videos thing, but that's just typical K-pop things that I won't go into here, as I'm more focused on the music side of things. To further accentuate my point with how melancholic a lot of the verses feel, the chorus feels like a very cathartic moment, where you're alone and you scream and get everything out. I know some metalheads who have done it. You know how amazing it feels. These verses are so great that Yeonjun raps really fit the melancholic vibe. While you can tell they're rap, they don't distract you from the song. They're integrated very well. Also, the song is just very catchy. I don't know, man. I like fun songs. I think we all do it to a certain extent. I love Metallica, but if all I listened to was Metallica, I'd feel miserable, especially if some of my options were Saint Anger and Lulu. Recommendations: 0x1 equals love song. Frost. Good Boy Gone Bad. Dear Sputnik. 9 3/4. Deja Vu. Chasing That Feeling. Over the Moon. Over the Moon rock version. Ghosting. Wishlist. Farewell Neverland. And Heaven. And are good starting points. Now let's get into an overlooked group. This group is often brought into the discussion of rock and K-pop. They're just not brought into discussions at all in general. They're one of those critically acclaimed, are friends with famous people, are very talented, but have never really been that hugely successful. And unlike the last group we'll talk about, they aren't that popular overseas. Hell, one of them is an actor and that audience hasn't really crossed over. He's not a big actor, but still, it's that Mix 9 curse, alright? Most of the artists here are hugely successful or have a really strong cult followings. This group just has a cult following. So if there is any other group other than the last one we talk about that I think you definitely should check out, it's ATEEZ. Okay, time to get off my Apple box. But yeah, this song is definitely rock. It has its electronic moments, but they're also a hardstyle group, so that makes sense. I mean, Apple Music describes them as BTS with elements of rock and hardstyle. I kind of see it, but these groups have way different vibes for what they're going for. And BTS has a much bigger discography and has been around much longer. They both debuted at two different ends of the third generation, so BTS has had more room to spread their wings and try different genres, but again, different vibes here. But back to the electronic bits, it kind of trances you.
Hey, girl, I see you on the low. Hey, so how she banging like the bongo?
As Byungkwon and Wow start off, and you're slapped in the face with the guitars and the chanting. Speaking of those two, the rapping. When they start rapping after the guitar shock, it helps maintain the energy. And then when main vocalist Yu Chan starts rapping, yes, the singer is rapping. He's gradually slowing down to bring the vocals from June
없이 내려앉은 안개 속에 널
And Donghoon.
누굴 기다릴 건지 이토록 지쳐 보이는 눈동자
Again, this gives a false sense of security, and then the chorus comes in.
Undercover, hey, 네 맘에 yes 넌 흠칫 okay.
And after the first chorus, it's just the rappers trading lines in the verses, and then main vocalists Donghoon and Yu-chan sing
내려앉은 안개 속에 널
as they pass the baton to each other, and then the second chorus hits. This song is almost 4 minutes long, and it feels like it's half that length. You know a song is great when you wish it was longer, or it doesn't feel its length. And one thing I like about the chorus is that it starts off with chanting, and then it has proper singing. And then one of the rappers does an ad-lib to add more elements to the sound. This is one of my favorite choruses in all of K-pop, no lie. And then the members are chanting low before the final chorus. It's building to something special for that chorus, and I won't tell you what happens. You just have to listen to it for yourself. Just trust me, it's awesome. Unrelated, but I love this little bit of choreo. I don't have anything else to say. I just love how in sync they are and how the editing is paced with the rhythm. I'm a film nerd with a degree to back this up. I love shit like this. I could do a whole video on some of my favorite uses of editing to the rhythm for music videos, K-pop or otherwise. But yeah, the suggested songs. Definitely the other songs of the big three, Savage,
We just go,
and Goblin Favorite Boys. Other rock songs, Golden Goose,
방금 말을 놓자 터질 듯한 환호 나는 달라
Just Better,
Baby I'm not buying it If you need a real man baby
Supernatural band version,
Supernatural I never let you go You light me up like angels do
Anymore emo version.
You gave this up too easily
And Higher.
다시 너를 향해 higher 널 부르는 silence
For hardstyle specific songs, Cactus,
바람아 불어라 더욱더 거칠게
and Calling,
간절히 많은 믿음이 될게 baby
and the new song Pinata.
이제 piñata make it completa You know I gotcha
Even though I guess they're going for Pinata, but they didn't have the Enya there. Look, I'm Hispanic, I can nitpick this shit too. Other favorites, or well, they're more R&B stuff. Supernatural,
I never let you go You light me up like angels do
Changer,
Change it Love ya
Effortless,
Everybody's looking at you
and Take Me Higher.
Baby take me higher 너무 아름다워
You could honestly listen to their discography straight in one afternoon. I know, I sure have. You know, before I get to the last artist on this list, what's funny is that all of my top 5 boy groups got onto this list, and even a potential 6th favorite. What's funny is that when I started, I only found girl groups that I liked, and I was afraid I wouldn't find a boy group that I liked. Then I found ATEEZ, and then Stray Kids solidified it. So why do I bring this up? Because, well, this whole rabbit hole started because of a girl group. The girl group that finally convinced me to take the plunge. The guy who still to this day listens to 80% rock music, and even his favorite K-pop group is rock. Yep, it's time for them to appear. The K-pop fans were definitely wondering when they were gonna make their appearance. The Dark Angels of K-pop, the face of rock and K-pop.
우리 집에 왜 왔니 Chase me 한번 날 잡아봐 아슬아슬거리에서 You wanna drink Oh baby run 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 it 멀어지게 Run 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 it 보이지 않는 곳에 I can pick it 날아올라 일곱 빛으로 가득 눈을 떠봐 내 손을 잡아봐 매일 꿈속에만 날 흔들어줘 답을 찾아줘 이 영역 속에서 힘을 불어라 저 끝없이 난 down 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 for me 끝없이 눈앞에 올 데자부 올 데자부 Now please I don't want to scream 끝에가로 잠글게 볼까 숨은 비밀을 봐 all day 더 깊이 빠져들어봐 Because I like you 눈을 가득 잠겨 Send my home in the
Yep, just Dreamcatcher. If you want me to narrow it down, we'll get there. As for why you should listen to Dreamcatcher, 1. GU. 2. Suwa. 3. Shion. 4. Handong. 5. Yuyeon.
두 눈을 감은 순간 검은 공간 나 홀로 남겨져
6. Dami.
Hold up, yeah. I'ma get the big paradox. 쉽게 생각하면 널 지키는 killer.
7. Gayun.
바꾸지 못하는 운명 속에 희망은 더 사라져가
And 8. The Music. I mean, you heard it, right? Yeah, these girls are talented. Whether their music is liked by Koreans or the general K-pop fandom, they've generally been respected for their talent. Their fans are dedicated, their music is why. I haven't gone over their general sound yet. Unlike other groups on this list, the core of their sound is rock. They do have electronic elements in their sound,
시간의 아픔은 견뎌 시원할수록 더 번져
and they're still a K-pop group at the end of the day.
꼭꼭 다 숨기고서 잘 살았네요 아직 그댄 날 잘 몰라요
But they are still rock. The guitars are much more prominent with Dreamcatcher than the others, and even in the Apocalypse trilogy and OOTD,
맘이 막혀 저 멀리 사라져만 가는 내
the guitars are there.
Beat your spotlight, unforgettable I'm the future, so incredible
Just with electronic filters on them. And let's remember, rock is a broad genre, and there's even a bunch of electronic rock genres. And let's not forget that fusions are a thing. And yes, they have a rapper.
한없이 차가워진 눈빛 돌아서가는 너를 숨기고
Okay, technically 3, but we're not gonna get into that whole situation. But that's just a K-pop thing, even in I-dle bands too. And let's not forget that Rage Against the Machine is a thing either.
The microphone explode, shattering the mold. Even dropping hits like they like, oh, well, get the fuck out the commode.
And I'm sure you'll certainly like Dami's voice.
I'm gonna fuck up all the light, okay, okay. 이게 너의 질문에 대답, 그냥 다른 거 틀린 거는 아니야.
And like most K-pop groups, they try to differentiate things with each release, but it's always rock at its core. And even outside of the title tracks, there's still at least one rock song,
생각 끝에 네가 서 있어 들어줘 내 목소리
along with an EDM or electronic track,
Midnight 오늘도
and some R&B or ballad-like song.
Hush, 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 hush
And when you dive into the deep cuts, you'll see the songs generally flow well into each other, and they are just really cohesive bodies of work. And while I highlighted Dami the rapper, let's not forget this group is mostly vocals. And on some of the songs that forego rap, even Dami sings. She has a nice, airy, soft voice.
I think I'm losing my way 매일 밤 같은 꿈에
She does have some vocals on the unclean side,
Everything's boy culture.
or at least a slight growl. Not Cannibal Corpse, obviously. Let's not forget what genre we're talking about here. And then there's the main vocalist, Shion, who's a designated high note belter. Damn, Shion's good. But the other core members of the vocal line, lead vocalist and basically a second main vocalist at this point, Yuyeon, is stellar.
떠나려 해 우리 마지막인 것처럼
It might be the best singer on a technical level, but we're not having this argument here. GU, the other lead vocalist, is great.
Oh my dear God 나를 데려가
But she's often overlooked and learned to adapt to the style of Dreamcatcher and pulling her weight in the intense vocals.
Far away 멀리 far away
Along with being an official lead dancer for the group as well. And then sub-vocalist, but basically a lead or main vocalist depending on who you ask, Suwa, who belts high notes as well as the others. And maybe even better, and she does this while also being the main dancer. So yeah, that's a flex. And let's not discredit Gayun and Handong. Gayun has improved a lot since debut and recently has shown off some high notes. And yeah, it was pretty good. And Handong has a long journey of getting lines. And she's the emotional sledgehammer of the group.
나를 따라만 오는 줄 알았던 그림자를 따라가는 듯이
And excels in the ballads department. And in live performances, she showed off some high note belts too.
Justice
These girls are objectively talented, there's no arguing that. I said I would narrow it down, and I picked 4 songs for the official list. Yes, 4. They're the face of rock and K-pop, and they're deserving, but also because each of the 4 songs highlight different strengths and show different sides of the rock genre. These songs are as followed by release order: Goodnight, Deja Vu, Scream, and Bon Voyage. For those asking why Boca isn't here, well, 2 Dystopia songs isn't fair, and if I ever did a K-pop songs for Latin music fans, Boca will be on that list. Yes, I actually have candidates for that. Now I'll discuss the songs in the order I best recommend for you to check them out. This is probably the first I would recommend for most people. It shows off many of the strong traits of this group, with the only exception being not having handong. Their darker tone, the strong vocals, the use of dynamics to have the haunting elements, and then the heavier moments really contrast. The electronic elements that blend well with the rock sound. I mean, the vocalists are strong here. Dami's rap is powerful. And Gayun's rap being is strong too. This may be Dreamcatcher's best song, I don't know, but the competition is tough there. Definitely their best MV. I won't argue there. But yeah, Insomnia know how fantastic this song is. The gorgeous ballad in the beginning. And then the symphonic rock chorus. I mean, it's catchy. And it makes you headbang too. There's no rapping on this song, so Dami has to sing, and she does great. And this is Handong song. I mean, she's the emotional sledgehammer. This song is one of the reasons for that. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to spoil it. The pre-chorus is more popular than the chorus for a reason. We have a different vibe here. The bass is fantastic. It's a vocal heavy song. Dami raps here, but it's more in line with her singing tone, so it doesn't stick out too much. But Xion, Yuyun, and Soa got those belts on them. Even Jiyu has some belting action going on, but to a lesser degree. But she has the emotional moments. It feels right to have an apocalypse song, and this one is the best in my opinion, and I might as well have different vibes going on here. And yeah, I have to have a Nightmare song here. It's the most rock-centric era. I went with the heaviest song of not only the series, but the heaviest out of all of the Korean tracks. So yeah, this song makes sense. And coincidentally, I have Suwa rapping on this one too. So yeah, the other 2 rappers have some of their raps on this list. And to be honest, she overshadows Dami here. So it took a while for Dami to really get going in this era. But damn, I think of Xion and Jiyu with this song. They go for it in the chorus. And Jiyu has the best part, and I won't spoil it. Oh, and that intro in the beginning really contrasts with the heaviness of the song. I'm not going that deep into the songs here because I went really deep with the group as a whole, and this group got 4 songs as opposed to the other groups only getting 1 song here. Just makes sense. The other recommendations, well, other than the blanket statement of the rest of the title tracks, Chase Me, the most J-rock this group goes. So it all sounds fairly J-rock. You and I, the beginning of that electronic fusion. And Dami's first good title track rap. Kitty for the beginning. Boga, it's obligatory.
말없이 베이는 상처
I-dle for the synthwave fusion. Because for that creepy cute vibe that weirdly works.
내 오늘도 나랑 놀면 준비된 모든 선물을 다 줄래
Vision for a dark techno vibe.
정해진 위치로
Justice is their most recent title track, kind of a return to the scream sound, and it's good.
간절한 외침으로 fight for justice rise up
Rose Blue, while not a title track, is underrated.
난 내게 남아있는 기억 속에 가라
Reason, not a title track, but it's a fan song that slaps.
너와 다른 듯 보이지 하지만 별반 다르지 않아 지고 치면서 다같이 들렸단 말이 많아
B-sides, the first album, Dystopia, The Tree of Language, because of Red Sun,
차가운 안개가 널 감싸면 기억하지 못할 거야 눈 감아냈어
Sahara, Black or White,
모든 걸 너는 다 이미 알고 있는데
Tension,
이상 모든 게 완벽할 수는 없어 괜찮아
and In the Frozen.
변하는 불과
Along with the first two fan songs,
기억할게 날 다시 만날 수 있게 날
and much more. Other than this album, Demian,
너는 내 밤을 가린 채로 세상에 보여
Silent Night,
다가오지 마 Don't wanna see you black Silent night
Break the Wall,
Come on break the world 지금까지 지켜
Rising,
Rising sunny shining 쉽게 꺾이지 않아
Those are just some of the ones that come to mind. Seriously, Dreamcatcher is great. If after all of this you just end up listening to Dreamcatcher or just becoming a Dreamcatcher fan, I wouldn't be surprised. But at least you gave the other groups a chance, right? Right? Okay, now for some of the honorable mentions and why I left them off.
그래 날 쏴 뱅뱅 너의 불을 얼마든지 맞아줄게
Yeah, I feel like they should have been on the list proper, but despite being idols, they're not a dance group but a band, so they don't meet the qualifications for this list, but I still wanted to acknowledge them in the honorable mention. But in the same way I just put Dreamcatcher, I'm gonna put just Day 6. I also haven't dug into their music that much, but I do plan to soon, so that's another reason. I was stretching with 17 as far as artists I don't know a lot from, and some of the other groups where I have a song I've respun, but I need more time with their discography, and this one goes for the other idol bands. Maybe in future installments I'll break the rule to have one idol band per list, but we're not there yet. As far as Day 6 is concerned as genres, they're mostly pop rock, but I have a lot of research to do, and I'm looking forward to it.
We go top, 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 top. 누가 뭐래도 내리 top. 리듬 내리 back the truck.
Okay, not a rock song at all, but more in the sense of some rock fans can enjoy the song. It's intense compared to most of Card's songs, and I want more people exposed to co-ed groups. Despite how rare they are. Also, if you love Latin music, you can enjoy the rest of their work.
Sun's up, what's up? Baby,
Yeah, solo acts are in a weird gray area. Sometimes they dance like Miss Choi here, or sometimes they have a guitar. Maybe in the second installment she'll be there, but this song is fun. Her stuff falls on the more emo pop side of things, and there's the guitars at least. Her stuff is fun. Some of it's cutesy, which is not always a vibe I personally go for, though they're usually still good songs. So I would still recommend this song for sure. Pixie. Our time was brief, but it was fun. I hope you all have more fruitful endeavors soon. But yeah, Pixie is generally on the more electro-pop side of things, so with a darker tone. And this is one of their songs that's more on the rock side. A promising debut, just they had a lot of external factors going against them. This song is good, and I've listened to all of their songs, but I did that in about an hour. There's good stuff here, just not too much to sink your teeth into, but it's good, and so is this song.
Rock and roll. I'm very, very good. I rock right now. I rock right now.
I just discovered this, and it's the reason why I want to do a part 2 in the future, but I'm just not familiar with Block B as a whole. I only know Nilini Monbo and Her, but as for the song itself, while it's basically Zico and friends, I will highlight Pio because of his voice here.
세계 우노 왜 무대가 떠나가게 비명 질렀대
and main vocalist Taeil.
엄지를 세워 열길 불태워 이 구역에 미친 놈들 모여.
Yeah, this song is dumb fun. Obviously, I can't talk about all the different groups that have ever experimented with rock or have rock as an aspect of their sonic identity. For example, Enhypen has a few rock B-sides. And BAP's Bad Boy image has let them use rock as part of their style. Or Kiss of Life, an R&B group in some of their debut year stuff, has some touches of rock to add onto their core R&B sound. So yeah, I'd like to make a part 2 sometime in the future to talk about more groups. But with that being said, if you're interested, let me know. If you're a K-pop fan who likes rock music, let me know what you think of my list and what suggestions you would make or any recommendations you have. I'm always looking for more music to listen to, even when I shouldn't. Damn, I set myself up for failure for next year's music listening.